What time is it, Ben?
No.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
I hunger for debate. I send my herald across the cosmos for the most trivial debates in the galaxy, and he has led me here. Feed me. I'm just kidding. Galactus, you kidding me? Seriously, though, have you guys found your Lord and Savior, Mole Man, in your hearts?
It's not my religion.
Right in here. Little spot right here, bro.
I prefer my
He's
Lord
the best
and Savior.
friend and your God all at the same time. He's wonderful.
I prefer my Lord and Saviors to be above 5 foot.
Look, he doesn't want to eat your world. He just wants to live in it.
I prefer
Open
my
your heart.
Saviors to be above ground. The light. If you
And he
can't see
smells.
the day. Yeah.
That's odd. Everybody got muted all of a sudden.
Hello? Hello?
Davin?
Beep, beep.
Hello.
I got everybody but Davin.
Oh my. New host,
Davin.
X-Man Dan, stepping in for the interim. So we're here to debate Fantastic Four. And I will continue this until Davin's cameras and
Well,
Mike,
it's Trivial Debates episode 95. It's July 14th, 2025, and as X-Man Dan has said, it is a Fantastic Four Trivial Debates. Our host, Davin Skellhorn, or aka Mr. Malloyd, is having some, as we like to put it in the business, technical difficulties. Please stand by. With that, I guess I'm going to step in until he can get back and figure this out. This is Trivial Debates. It is a debate game show. You three gentlemen are going to be asked questions. You'll have 1 minute to present your answers, and then there's going to be a 4-minute open debate that allows you to, basically rip down the other people's answers and make sure that your answer is the one that gets the point. Whoever has the best debate at the end is going to get the point. So, I'm not sure what happened to my host, but I'm just going to roll with this. We're going to get this started. We're going to start it off with the movie question. Movies, people slag Cloud Galactus from Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. But which MCU villain would have been better as a Cloud? So we're going to start this off in a rotational order with David
Oh my gosh.
Cutler.
First?
You're going to
What?
start first. That's right, sir.
I don't know what is going on, and I didn't prepare. So this is an ambush. Ambush. But I can do it. No, I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, give yourself. I'm gonna give you. You gotta get a little extra time here because I do gotta actually add my timers. I forgot to do that briefly. So think about your answer.
I hope he doesn't take one of their
All right.
answers. Can think.
Okay. Timer's popping up. We got 1 minute on the stage, and when you're ready, sir, your
Okay,
answer.
my answer, the only answer on the table is Ultron from Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. And I picked Ultron for one reason, and that is nanotechnology. A cloud of nanobots would be a huge step up because, I mean, Loki, he's a god. He's got an alien army in the first movie. Second movie, you just got robots. Robots are pretty easy to beat up. They're like weak, crappy versions of Iron Man's armor, but you make them miniature and you could breathe them in. Suddenly, it's a global pandemic of little tiny evil Tony AIs. And 20 seconds left. AI plus nanotechnology equals apocalypse on a insane scale. And people wouldn't have been like, Ultron is underwhelming. They would have been like, I'm scared to go outside now. The end.
Great answer. AI and nanotechnology is a terrifying combination that I personally don't think I would want to see. I know Davin, if you were here for that, he probably would have quite a conniption over the mere thought of that. With our next testing, we're going to go to X-Men Dan. You're going to get a minute on the clock when you're ready.
Good to go. So I took the question specifically which MCU villain would best represent or be better as a Cloud, and thinking in my head who could maintain such a magnitude as that representation of Galactus. The only answer for me was Ego, the living planet. So if there were such an event, so cataclysmic that there were planet-sized body coming towards our own beloved Earth, only Ego could represent that kind of, celestial threat, other than a celestial. Perhaps having been an MCU villain, I think he would be a great stand-in. Grey Goo be damned. How many more seconds do I have left?
15 on the clock, sir.
I mean, with regards to that, and just to be clear, for those who don't know, the representation that you saw there on the screen is Ego as, I think, planet-sized, whole entire planet, not just a 80s dude.
All right.
Yeah,
So
you can hear me, yeah?
yeah, we got you.
All right. Well, my mic's broken. It's going through my camera now.
All right, fabulous.
The reception's bad here in the subterranean realm.
This is underground dwelling. David's answer was, basically Ultron, AI, and nanobot clouds. And Dan has broken it down to the Great Egon, which leaves our next contestant, Davin. I'm going to let you take it away from here.
Right. Let's go, honey. Neepy Storm.
Yo. All right, it's my time started.
Yes, sir.
All right, so they said some major villains and upscale villains, but I'm gonna keep it a little down to earth. I think the best representation of a Cloud would be Arnim Zola from Winter Soldier, Captain America: Winter Soldier. And I said him because he's very much technologically based, kind of like the Ultron answer, but this one would be a little more effective towards the regular humans, because his cloud would be more of a smaller cloud that would affect our everyday gadgets, technology, hacking systems, the government, shutting down traffic lights. And that cloud would be a little more just realistic and a little more effective to regular people in their everyday lives. So that's my pick. And I got 8 seconds. So Arnim Zola as the Cloud.
All right. So I say this not because I didn't hear anything Dave or Dan said, but because these are all great picks that easily these characters could be Clouds. It's like the 3 best picks I think you guys made here. So it's going to be down to the open debate here.
Who starts?
Fire it up. It's open debate. Just get in there.
All right.
4 minutes.
Well, I'd like to talk about your guys' establishment of how effective your Clouds would be at unsettling Earth. I would put to the crowd, I think gravity being upturned might be a little worse than your iPhone not working. I mean, the pandemic of inhalable nanotech is pretty brutal, but no atmosphere, no breath.
I'm going to agree with you that yours would be a more of an apocalyptic scale. It's Ego coming at Earth is bigger than Ultron coming from Earth. But the one thing Ultron really had going for him in Age of Ultron was the personality. The James Spader performance was great. So you would actually still get that in my version of Ultron, where Ultron is everywhere and he's millions and millions and billions and trillions of tiny little robots that you could inhale them. They could be, they could cover the whole planet essentially in a thin layer of Ultron, a thin layer of James Spader. Think about that and go to sleep.
Mm.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you guys are saying. Those are definitely huge scale, apocalyptic type events. But I think you guys underestimate how simple-minded people are and how easily it takes them to crack literally someone's Wi-Fi could go down and they'll think it's World War IV or whatever. Somebody's cell phone's not working and they're about to jump off a bridge. So with Arnim Zola destroying technology, that's going to hit people a lot harder than people think. I mean, it's the simple things in life that cause people to lose their shit.
True. But I mean, the great cataclysmic galactic things in life are those that represent world eaters like the man himself. And in that, I mean, you do have a lot with James Spader's charisma. And although he's not my favorite pick to represent Ego the Living Planet, I mean, come on. Kurt Russell.
I thought that was Kurt Russell.
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, you got James Spader, but I got a planet-sized Kurt Russell coming at you, my man. What are we going to do
With
with
mine,
this?
you wouldn't even have to change the established continuity. Ultron could come back. His AI could be lingering and come back as a cloud. The Ultron is a huge deal now. And I think that I have the best of both worlds because you can start off on the small scale of like small things not working and people being like, Ultron's great actually because I can make this image of a dog farting or whatever in an instant. I don't have to draw it anymore. So people will be all jazzed on Ultron. But then they'd realize that they'd sold their soul to the digital devil and the cloud would come and the Avengers would have to do something. But what? What could Tony do against? I don't even know. Well, he's dead. Well, Tony too. Electric Boogaloo.
For the last minute up in there, for the last minute, your characters were always a cloud. So in the first movie in the MCU where your character showed up, they were a cloud.
That's fine. Everything I said except in the first one.
And for Arnim Zola, they're uploading information to a digital cloud.
Ooh,
So storing all that information.
That's good.
fair. I mean, I would say great balls of energy. Does the MCU count the animated universe? Like,
I think they're still trying to figure that out because, you know, with X-Men 97, with Spider-Man, and there are all those cartoons.
Yeah, the multiverse, everything counts. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies count. Everything counts.
Yeah.
good question. I like the approach with the cloud. I like that you guys have the synergy of technological overlord. But I mean, when we're talking Fantastic Four, we're dealing with things that are so above the level of people's earthly panic. This is cosmic.
People's earthly panic can turn easily cosmic if you have enough energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I hear a slow clap?
Good opening debate.
That was supposed to be a gavel.
Oh, I heard like David had his own answer, like, oh, well and good, but you guys forgot.
The answer was Bill Murray's character. Oh, man.
Dan, you're not getting the point. Somehow you made your version of Ego sound exactly the same as the version of Ego we got. So is he a cloud? I don't know. Dan just made him sound like Ego Conan. Good debating, though. It was very close.
I was going to rely on my chops rather than my answer. Not going to lie.
Giving the point to Dave because he kind of won me over on the James Spader everywhere as a cloud thing. That's just James Spader is everywhere.
I was just thinking
what's
of
going
James
on
Spader
here.
version of being John Malkovich when you said that. It was just not where I want to be.
Very good. That was
Got
close,
one.
like you're like you almost took it back, Hanif, when you're just like they're uploading to the cloud. I was like, oh,
I had my
Yeah, we had a really similar idea.
it was a good yeah.
So what happens now?
Moving on.
next
We move
question.
on.
1 point to Dave Chadler.
TV. Which FF member would be the best asset to their power equivalent faction in Avatar: The Last Bender? That Earth is the Thing, Reed with water, Sue with air, and Johnny with fire. So takes a little bit of Avatar: The Last Bender, Airbender general knowledge as well. So who's up first this time? All right, X-Man Dan, or they call him X-Thing Dan tonight.
All right. So
It's rock solid debates.
rock solid debates. But for me, I'm arguing in the part of Sue is the equivalent of Aang. Although I will gladly take the time to pick apart the reasons why all other characters don't make as good a fit as Sue and Aang. The reason I draw the line.
That's not what you're arguing. Who would make a better who would benefit
be
the
the best
faction.
asset.
It's not saying why she's like Aang. It's just
Oh,
like,
I thought
you throw her
well,
onto the airbender team. Like, why is she the best asset?
okay,
for
well,
you?
I can go side. Do I
We should
have
start his time over.
30
Yeah,
more
so it's
seconds?
time.
All right.
I was
So,
confused by why you mentioned Aang in your answer to me. It's like, oh, I might have to. Just
well, we'll
take
look at this way because it focused so hard on Aang anyway, and who Sue is as a character. The reason. Oh wait, let me know when I have to start. Okay, so Sue is the
Airbender.
best person to be on this team because she is the one who represents the most intentional focus of the Avatar, who is at the time Aang. Aang, being an airbender, his primary goal is to ensure preservation of life. He's a pacifist, and just like Sue, their entire group has a level of lethality that is instead counterbalanced by the fact that they are a bunch of innocent children, and they need the guidance of someone like a mother. And the best mother in the whole entire Marvel universe is Sue Storm. So she could help carry them the distance that they need to go. She could help keep them in line the way that they need to be. And let's be honest, if anybody has general knowledge about the show, these kids are all over the place. And again, falling in line with the fact that she has the most on-point lethality, the easiest, most ability to kill a person in an instant, chooses peace every time and diffuses fights.
Hold it around real good since you didn't really know what the question was about. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's funny that the best mother in the Marvel universe sends her children to hang out with Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that's the safest places that they can be at the times that she sends them there. I mean,
or she had Agatha babysit them at times.
Yeah.
Important.
I mean, it's like,
We'll debate that. That's another debate. We'll debate that later.
like librarian dictator
she's
or a
protecting
witch.
the world from her children sometimes too. Remember that's motherhood.
Sometimes you just gotta leave your kids with Doctor Doom. It's parenting 101.
Wait, is it my
Go
go?
ahead, isn't it? Yeah, you're
Okay, so I chose Mr. Johnny Storm to represent the Fire Nation, and I mean, simple as put, Johnny is a hothead. He's explosive. He's very rash, and mostly all action, little talk. And you know, the fact that he has the ability to go supernova at any moment he could, if he wanted to, is if we're talking from a war standpoint, I think that would be probably their biggest gun in this whole war against the different elemental tribes. So I think Johnny would definitely kick the tires and light some fires, so to speak. And that was my answer right there.
good. I'm glad you put it that way because that's a good way to clarify this question. Imagine a war between the elementals and who would make the
And just based on off the show, I mean, the fire tribe was the aggressors.
So they need another hothead. Aggress harder.
Yeah. At first you don't succeed.
Like first, no mercy.
Yeah.
Right. Who you got? Who's the best? Who's
Okay,
the best
full
bender?
disclosure.
David's up
not my
next.
first choice, but
Not his first choice.
I think I've adjusted my belief into thinking that I'm right. Okay, so I thought we were already going.
That's what happens in this show. It changes.
Okay, beef. All right. So my pick is Reed Richards for the Water Tribe. Now you might be saying to yourself that Reed is actually like the loosest, poorest fit for his element. Sure, I'm not going to argue with you. You might say that Reed bringing his science to the Water Tribe culture is a little colonialist. Sure, I'm not going to go that route. The route I'm going to
go there.
The route I'm going to go, they're not going to use him that way. The route I'm going to go is blood bending. Reed is going to be blood bent by Katara into the ultimate frigging weapon. He's going to be a physical manifestation of water. He's going to be a shield over the Southern Water Tribe nation when they show up. And it doesn't even matter if Reed's on board or not. Like where Reed stands, Katara don't care. Not my Katara. She's going to stretch and strip him all over the place. He's just going to be a ballistic weapon that the Fire Nation would never see coming.
Oh wow.
War is intense.
So are we presupposing for the hot seat there that these are all there? These three warriors have joined their respective nations? in the battle.
Sure. And which one is the best asset to that side? Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously, if the other ones don't have a member of the Fantastic Four, the team with a member of the Fantastic
So,
Four.
and they are who they are. They're not like someone with Reed's powers and someone with Johnny's powers.
No, it's Reed
right?
and Johnny.
So, yeah,
Mm.
let me know when we open that up.
Well, I think you already
Right.
did. It's pretty devastating.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll return a devastating blow. Not really devastating, but the air nomads are completely peaceful. So anything lethal or super killy, wonderful about Sue's powers is sort of makes her a bad fit for the air nomads.
Well, that depends on what your objective in the war is, right? We're here for peace. She has created a 200% increase of people for that nation, which was once only one person, and now doubled. So my army doubled with just one.
That's a good point.
When it comes to the Earth Nation, we can all agree that would have been a bad choice when you think about it, because they have so much force as it is. Thing was already ruled out. You're right. The literal power that Johnny could bring is almost unparalleled, and the fact that you're leaving out Reed's best weapon, though, is kind of the biggest loss there. If his mind is unsullied and he's just there captured into it, he is the one man who can find a way to make his mind flexible enough to get out of that. That's his one shtick. But like we said in opening,
I still want to do it.
the golden gun is like, no one's gonna come after Sue. Johnny's not coming after Sue. You're not coming after Sue, Reed. We got this, right? Come on.
Imagine a bit of a family quarrel at the time.
You're just basically Zuko now. Now we have two Zukos. So join the team. It's cool. Sue for peace. I will sue for peace. Will you not sue for peace?
I think Johnny is someone who it can get to that rebellious point where he actually might go against his family just off the strength of being rebellious. I mean, even though him and Sue are brother and sister, I mean, you can obviously sense the contention between them, being that she's older and she had to fill in as the mother role in some aspects, and so I mean, he might put on a good front, but that type of resentment builds up. And, he obviously, I mean, I don't know too many people that have the best relationship with their in-laws, but, if Johnny got to that point, I don't see him having a problem with burning the shit out of Reed at any given moment if it came to that.
True, but
it depends on like where we're setting these events, because I think if we're like in the Avatar: The Last Airbender era, Johnny's too good a person to ally with the Fire Nation. He might be sucked in initially by celebrity and what have you.
Unless there's a hot woman involved.
That would be a distraction, but eventually he would see the light of day and he would not be able to go through with the things they would need him to go through.
Ooh, Johnny sees the light. Is anybody familiar with the fire triangle and what you need to keep a fire going? Fuel, oxygen is one thing, and an ignition source. So listen, you can get her fired up. We got this. It's for sure. You can start the war and you can do some explosive things, but no one can contain that flame the way Sue can. Closing the oxygen off. And
I'm dying to say something Reed, to help you, but
Reed's biggest weakness is his love for Sue. He has no chance.
Yeah.
But Sue also has shown massive limitations when it comes to containing that much energy, that much force. I mean, how many times has this girl blood had a bloody nose? How many times has she passed out? I don't recall too many instances where Johnny, got too hot and just couldn't keep it together. Like, I mean, that's why
maybe with some. Maybe
like he went supernova or something. I remember that vaguely. Like Johnny gets too hot.
But that's like the full extent. Like, I don't know what is Sue's supernova.
Oh, it's taking all the oxygen out of your lungs. Oh,
you went mute again.
Oh no!
It's a supernova.
Supernova. Wait, see my shirt.
These debates are heating up. We're gonna have to say flame off here if it gets any hotter.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I gave up immediately.
You did, yeah. I was
just
told me he was gonna give up on this debate. He told us back on the X-Debated episode, he crashed, that he cannot debate if he does not believe it in his heart.
I believed it for a second, but then I heard better answers.
Yeah, so did I. Dan, you're getting the point.
Woo!
You were on point on this one. Every point you were making was just rock solid on that one.
The point I wanted to give you to like support your argument was Sue could have made the entire Air Nation, all the Air Nomads, invisible when the Fire Nation showed up. She could have saved all of them.
If it had been then, I thought it was like they're already dead. Maybe she could learn to meditate, control her powers better, work with just Aang. And like again, those kids, such great power, but like they needed something. They needed a mom. They need someone to help them out. Gosh. But
good job, Hanif, on though. Like I thought you were gonna be in tough on this one because like Johnny's almost just like more of what they already have, but like a lot more of it. A lot more of it.
The most.
You did well. You get farther in that debate than I thought you would with picking it up.
Farther than me.
I even told Dave, I'm just like, Sue's gonna be hard to beat in this particular. but Dan was on.
She's hard to beat usually in regular Marvel series.
It was great. Who's everyone's favorite member of the Fantastic Four? For me, it's.
And I didn't even understand the question. Just well.
Oh, Thing. Thing's great.
I gotta go with
Cutler in time over there.
I gotta go with the Thing.
Yeah,
the Thing. What about you, Dan?
I'm a Reed guy, just because I like
the Reed guy.
He likes
the Maker. He likes the whole count.
I like the Maker. I like the idea of like taking the big stories and seeing where Reed's at with it. He's like covered in chalk dust, and it's like I can't do it.
And I will. And in Reed's defense, I do like that one scene from Rise of the Silver Surfer when they were who's the Andre Barr's character, the general. He's like, oh, you don't know anything about sports. And he's like, you're right. I don't know any sports. And now I'm the smartest guy on the planet. And I pulled one of the baddest chicks in the world.
Yeah.
My best friend played football. And you're going to
mic drop.
Yeah. Speaking of mic drop, good segue.
Speaking of not knowing anything about sports.
That's the next question.
That's the one after this one. Music. Create the best rap rival for MF Doom based on another Fantastic Four character or villain. I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh no,
I forget my answer.
Well, you're up first, so that's perfect. Oh no, you're not. All right, Hanif.
Oh, I'm up at first. Oh, sorry. I think the best rival would be Diablo. He's got that Latin spice, that Hispanic flavor. Probably offers some interesting taste in the music genre, like maybe like some hardcore reggaeton or maybe like some cool salsa music. Yeah, I think Diablo would be a little spicy in the music department. And on top of that, him being like an alchemist and knowing like a little something about magic or chemicals, probably put on a fire show, amazing show with effects and stuff like that. And maybe sell out a couple of stadiums, maybe sell some records, that whole song and dance. But yeah, Mr. Diablo, Mr. Esteban. That would be my lovely pick.
Like my questions are too complex because I feel like you guys took it a different way. Well, I was thinking of like a regular person.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
I thought you meant the character. Well,
taking on
because MF Doom is just a rapper who bases his persona.
Yes, that is the like sane way to read the question, but that is not the way I read the question.
It's not the way any of you read it the same way. I got some insane. So during the open debate, take it my way, at least.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
To you, Dave.
Okay. Well, if you heard me like
all the stuff you said, sorry, hold on one sec. All the stuff you said, Henny, pretty much still applies to like a regular person. You can still have this dude doing salsa dressed as Diablo.
Well, for this round, I'm going to argue the same way that this is the actual character because that's all I have in my head.
Also, real brief, Mr. Malloyd, if you could be so kind as to announce the next contestant speaking, because for the audio listeners.
Audio, you're right. You're right. I get dependent on the video sometimes. You should hear it X-rated. It's probably a disaster to listen to in audio-only form. Anyway. David's up next. 1 minute.
Okay. If you heard me like laugh during your bit, like I scoffed a bit, it wasn't at you. It was because I read what my answer is. I forgot. My answer apparently is
crazy.
Willie Lumpkin.
Yeah.
Willie Lumpkin, the Fantastic Four's postman. And I think
Where are you going with this, Dave?
my whole thing is he's a rival. So they're going to be beefing. They're going to be having back and forths. And one thing that Willie Lumpkin has is receipts. He's got access to everybody's mail. He reads it because he's dirty like that in my continuity, where he's a rap guy. And that's my whole argument. That he knows all the details, because like, who really cares if Kendrick is the better rapper? The thing is, he had better points. He knew the better dirt ultimately, so he won the battle. And so will Willie. Yeah.
Brings it back to earth with that one.
There's all that MF Doom dirt. All right, Dan. How did you take this question?
I took it your way, actually, but I will take it their way for my minute and then your way for the 4. So, yeah, Peter Parker. Enemy of Doom, enemy of Fantastic Four, friend of all. Bombastic Bagman is not only the best rap name, but also a legitimate Fantastic Four member. And if Petey had to get out from the street, take it from the streets into the tower, and then like break it down, he could do some mic drops. He's hyper intelligent and also pretty in touch after certain development in the comics. But yeah, the name alone, Bombastic Bagman, the rhymes he could come up with, super science that he could use to combat MF Doom's super science alone. Got this in the bombastic bag, man. It's the only choice. I kind of just have to riff until I see the time because I don't know how much more I got. But yeah, to get from the streets to Baxter Tower.
You can concede your time. But that was hilarious.
I personally would give you the point just for that last line alone.
He's bombastic bad. Anyway, so to set up this open debate in the proper context, Dan totally got it. He even named his rapper Bombastic Bagman. What is the name of your guys' Dan and any real life rapper in the persona of the character you chose? Is it just Diablo and Willie Lumpkin, or what do you call this rapper?
Lumpy Bill. I don't know. I do
want to apologize. That's bad, actually.
Want to apologize to the viewers for at least I don't have any chops freestyling. I don't know if either you guys are going to break into something. But,
we'll do it.
As it happens, I'm pretty sure Bombastic Bagman would be a sick name for an actual rapper. If MF Doom and his crew were already on stage, you got the whole like stage persona. You could literally put any dude, like pretty well any dude, into that bag and start to like, come on to stage with like a outfit, break it down, pulls off his it's Eminem. What's he doing here? He doesn't rap with those guys. He's from a whole nother crew.
Someone was Bombastic Bagman this whole time.
Exactly. Pick someone else. What? Justin Bieber, Canada. What? Elbows up. We got this. What's he doing here? I don't know. I wouldn't put Justin Bieber on stage with MF Doom. I'd like to retract that statement.
I saw an old video of Justin Bieber doing a Tragically Hip cover, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I like this Bieber kid.
I mean, when it comes to El Diablo, it's a pretty good setup. You can go a lot of ways with that. It would take some pretty.
You're just talking of El Diablo, right?
Yeah, but the thing is like, how many people are going to recognize Diablo as the villain? They'll be like, "Oh, look, MF Doom's on stage."
How many normies recognize Doom?
Bombastic Bagman is also super unrecognizable, but at least you're not going to have to pay for a bunch of prosthetics and like costumes. You just need a paper bag.
Last ditch effort for me to save face with my answer. My rap guy's name is Big Willie Lumpkin.
That's better.
Contrast. So his whole thing is he hates MF Doom, man. He fucking hates him. So
You should-
to make him seem like a tryhard with his really cool metal mask, he just shows up on stage in a postman hat and a big fake gray mustache. That's his whole shtick, and it goes over, man. It goes over. Real good.
You should have probably named him the Doxer, because, like you said, he has everyone's address. So you can just be like, actually, this MF Doom guy isn't even Victor. He's not even.
He's got
from
lots
Liberia.
of names, man. This guy spits bars.
Yeah, or he is from Liberia, and you can get ice on him. Get him out of there. What's happening there? Like, and to that point, also, you're not in a very good position there yourself, Diablo. Got your papers, my man.
Diablo has the
All we
coolest
got is a
mask
paper bag.
by far. And also, I'm going to say this: I don't know if Spider-Man is a Fantastic Four character. That's
He specifically said bombastic bag man.
that happened in a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah,
That makes Fantastic Four Spider-Man characters.
All right, I would just call him by his government, Esteban El Diablo, and it's not. Yes, his real name is Esteban, and
his middle initial is L.
El Diablo.
That's amazing.
EL. His middle initial is D.
And honestly, his whole stick is that, at the end of the day, it's all pop music, whether it's rap, whether it's Latin, whether it's whatever. I mean, they're all fighting for the #1 spot, regardless of whatever the music they're putting out. So y'all might be rappers. He's going another venue and still dominating charts.
Whatever. He's pushing his alchemy off somewhere in his potions.
Yes.
Yeah, alchemy is nonsense. So.
Yeah. Peter grew up in the hard streets slinging bags, man. We got this.
I think I wanted to lose.
What a weird debate.
Dan, you got the bombastic bag this time, man.
What?
Yeah, you almost got it when you're just like, damn it.
Oh, not me. Not me. I would have went with El Diablo, but whatever.
El Diablo, almost at the end there. You almost came in at the end there.
Well, I'm losing this next one for sure. So,
Dan, you're coming up. You're on fire here. We'll see how this goes. This is like all the X-Goons are on the edge of their seats. This is like all their favorite X-rated characters here. Dan, Dave, Denise. They like these three better than me and Andre for sure.
I'm a favorite? What?
Oh, definitely.
But wasn't it only like between the three of us because we were the only three that weren't like celebrities?
Oh, you mean that poll we did that time? Actually, Hanif wasn't on that poll.
I wasn't on anything.
Before we move on, Dave is a celebrity guest.
I think y'all confused me with the other Robinson.
Yeah, X-Man Dan won the poll to the Patreon members. Who's your favorite X-rated guest?
Oh, word.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Members.
Yep.
But it wasn't just basically between me and Dave again.
No, there was a good 5-person panel. I think we even put me and Andre in there, but no one cared about us. Anyway, sports. Which Fantastic Four member would make the best pro athlete? Name the character and the sport. So many ways you can go with this one. Who's up first? Who do we got? Oh, Dave, you're up first.
Oh my God, I have to look up what my answer was.
You chose
Diamond Dave Gutter.
Reed, didn't you? Or Johnny? You chose Johnny in the NBA, didn't you?
Yes, I found
it. He's on fire.
Oh, you just took my whole thing. That was it.
Oh, I was gonna say you're lose unless you make an NBA Jam reference, but you can still do it. Go for it.
I'm not a sports guy. All I know about sports is I really liked NBA Jam and NBA Jam Tournament Edition and NBA Jam 2. And all I know is he's heating up and he's on fire. Is it the shoes?
Is it the
shoes? It's the cosmic rays, sir. And he can set his own basketball on fire. It doesn't have to be the third point in a row. It can be every point because he's on fire. And for the rest of my time, I'll say sports. Johnny gets to sit up front with me because he's a good guy at sports. And I can see the rest of my time.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be all you need.
Dan, you can steal this time and begin your argument.
Oh my God.
No, I'm stealing.
You can do
Oh,
that.
interesting.
You should give it to
So,
Hanif
I
just
mean-
for stealing the NBA Jam reference. Go for
Sorry,
it.
David.
Really.
Oh well, it was low hanging fruit, I guess.
It was literally on my
Low-hanging
tongue.
fruit.
Ooh.
Just like all things, Johnny, I can let him implode. I don't need to take that time to fight his battles. No, I'm sorry. Johnny, not you, Dave. But when it comes to Reed, obviously I could have picked any sport. All I had to do was pick Reed. He's a genius. He could master literally anything. Apparently, I wasn't allowed to pick chess. So, sorry, ex-goons, ex-fans out there who are chess players.
Oh,
That's not a sport.
whack. That's kind of
You're
discriminatory.
not
That's
an
a sport.
athlete.
I mean, it's not a
Anyway.
sport. You can't pick chess.
Okay. Yeah, but,
Hey,
that, but so
hey,
instead I chose,
There's a whole gaming league.
table tennis is what I have chosen. Good luck at getting one of those tiny little wiffle balls past any of those flexible arms. Not only that,
Table
your
tennis.
rules in table tennis are that you can't be across a line with your feet most of the time, and if your hands can stretch over there, you could do what you want. Lean right the hell over the table, go stand by the side of the thing. He could be like, he could have his paddle in front of your paddle when you go to serve. But table tennis. Any other dexterous sport? That's what I went with.
Ooh, okay, so producer's note here. I was under the impression that it was actually Reed Richards in track and field, hence my imagery, not table tennis.
Let's
if
change
I
your
know.
answer to track and field, Dan.
But no. He
Yes.
said
I
table
have them-
tennis, so ignore
have them
the
written
imagery.
But that is excellent imagery. I probably did say track and field. I was going with
We're
hurdles.
debating
at one point.
between the two, but you did settle on
I'd go right to the top where I said any sport. It's Reed Richards. He's a genius.
Stick with
But
table tennis now.
Stick with table tennis.
All right, Hanif.
All right. Concern.
He's the best athlete in the Fantastic.
Well, there actually is one best athlete, and his name is Benjamin J. Grimm. And there have been reports about him in high school playing football. But my sport I chose was actually rugby. And while I don't know too much about rugby, I know it's a little bit across of like football, soccer. There's some physical
I'll
contact.
tell you all about it later.
Yeah, there's obviously physical contact, and any team that has been on his team, you're not getting you're not getting past him if he's on defense. Offense, you better get the fuck out of the way because he's going to bulldoze you. He's a literal definition of a brick house. And when you're playing any type of physical sport, if you have somebody that's impossible to get past or somebody that's impossible to move, there's a good chance that your team is going to win. Or if you're against them, you're going to lose. So Big Ben Grimm, big physical specimen, rugby.
Like that breakdown.
Oh. Well, you
That picture, though.
told me why your characters are going to be great at those sports. So you all should tell me why your opponent's characters are not so great at the sports of their chosen sports.
Reed and Ben. Wait, we're not at the clock yet. Reed and Ben are too old. Like, what are they, 45? Their careers are over. They're done. Johnny is a spring chicken. He can play ball at the college level. He can go pro. He's got 20 years left on him at the very least. Low end. So
Tell that to Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. They were playing.
I would if I knew who they were, if I could find them.
They are
Football
very
players,
popular.
Dave.
They're popular NFL players.
I've heard
who-
Brett Favre. I'm joking. I've heard
Yeah,
this.
Say
they're
Gordie
popular-
Howe, Hanif. Throw a Canadian reference down there. Just say like Gordie Howe.
They're basically
Yeah, come on.
If
NFL
they were
players.
hockey players, they might have a chance. Those guys stick around a long time, but otherwise, I don't know.
I mean, and
So-
also, I mean,
To that.
in American sports, we have a lot of players that are like well in their 40s, pushing 50, that are still out there playing. It's not about
And-
whether you should play; it's whether you want to play. And if you can play, if you're physically able to, you can. And I don't think age.
I'm worried about Ben's heart. I'm just
How are
gonna
you
say it.
worried about a rock?
I'm just going to say he's moving a lot of weight around at his age. He shouldn't be up and down. No. It's
Ben
young
is a
man's
lot
game.
more agile than you think, my friend.
When
That
it
man.
comes to this debate, I'm gonna put Reed in both of your sports and tell you how he'd have beaten you. I would have picked basketball if I could have picked basketball, but I think it was off the table, not because of who I chose, but the sport. Reed could stand at center line and then dunk it like we're all on in the Looney Tunes universe with Michael Jordan. Like, come on, he's already got that. He doesn't have to be Michael Jordan to do it. And if there's anyone on the rugby field that can't hurt, that Ben Grimm can't hurt, it's like, oh, Slim. Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to smash into him. He'll reflex you back across the whatever hack line. I don't know, rugby terms. Do they have like a 18-yard line in soccer?
Yard line.
That's where you
Not
got.
here, and
To me, that is the opponent's problem, and it's something that both the Thing and the Human Torch share. People aren't going to come up to them; they're not going to foul them. It's all about whether or not you're doing well. People aren't even going to want to take the
That's
ball
true.
from Johnny when it's literally on fire the whole
Look,
fucking time.
Johnny and Ben are both athletic specimens. That I won't deny. But could Johnny beat the flexibility of Reed on the tennis?
Well, you're
table court?
okay. So I have no
Fire
coordination.
melts rubber.
I don't have
Fire
gross
melts
motor
rubber.
skills. I only have fine motor skills. No gross.
It also
whatsoever.
melts the ping pong ball.
If I turn
right?
it into rubber tomorrow, I'm not going to be any good in the NBA. I won't have the reflexes. I could never get the ball in the first place in order to dunk it from across the Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan can already do that. Didn't you see Space Jam?
Yeah, right.
But not
you
for
don't have
nothing.
the-
Well, not for nothing. Shout out to my Canadian brothers and sisters. I just remember watching an old report. There was this I think middle school basketball team, and they had a kid on their team that was like almost 7 feet and like way taller than the other kids that were playing on the field. And so I think when you're scouting your team and getting your team, you want somebody or any player with the most advantages, whether it be they're flexible, whether it be they're super strong and durable. And
greatest
I think-
advantage you can have on any sport, on any field, is the intellect. And it would take a long time to get the massive limbs like coordinated, but he is a super genius. He can actually literally make his brain into a different shape so he can think differently. And if he's too old to play, he'd be the best coach in any single sport on the board.
He's
So you
I
just
think
have to play
book smart, I think-
for long enough.
I
to do
think
that.
I think being
Reed's
book
no lead-
smart only takes you so far on the field or the court. You have to have a little bit of street smarts, and you also have to have some brawn and some athleticism. Like you can be the greatest strategist on the planet, but if you can't physically perform, you're no good to the team.
I heard about a kid
Yeah.
who
Well,
was
you might as
being
well
about
be
the
a
NBA,
coach.
and he set himself on fire, and it worked out great.
It worked out great.
that last verbal jab notwithstanding, Hanif, you're on the board.
Woo! Finally,
See, I'm
I
glad
feel-
because the right answer won.
I feel important.
So that's a
Yeah,
victory
I
for me.
agree.
That's a moral victory at the end of the day.
What you believed
Yeah.
was true.
Yes.
I do believe it.
He's a man who wants to be right and truthful. That's a good.
And if
I'm
you
better
try to run up,
than other
and if you
people
try to
around
run
me.
up on Ben on the field, he'll clobber you.
But he is getting
Right.
too late.
That's what time it is.
Well, I did think. Okay, you know what? I played rugby, and I'll tell you what. There were times when I would have loved to have been made out of rocks, because I was the tall, skinny guy on a rugby team. And I don't know if you've ever seen rugby players, but like 99% of them are not tall and skinny, and there's a reason for that. But
Would you have wanted to be made of
when you're the
rubber
tall
every
and
so
skinny
often?
guy on a rugby team, you're the guy that gets lifted up by his underwear and thrown into the air to try to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Again,
And you're also
Reed
the
just
guy
stretched
who
and
has
did
to
that.
put his head between the hips of the two biggest guys on the team. And then when everybody pushes against the other team really hard, you're the guy whose head gets smashed between the hips of the two biggest guy on the team. I only played rugby for 1 year.
Next time I have
What do they do to a
flexible
guy on a rugby team when they find out he has homemade moloid glasses?
Exactly.
that
The
go?
position I play,
How does that
the
go?
guy who gets thrown up by his the wedgie guy, me.
head.
That's what they do.
So
Alright.
field time.
Oh, that's rugby. But honestly, rugby's awesome. I know, like, football's a sacred thing there in the USA, but rugby is a superior rugby.
Oh no, I think there's a couple of leagues down here in the States that people play. It's rugby and lacrosse. Like those are like kind of like
lacrosse is a good sport too.
yeah. No, I remember going to high school. No, the women's lacrosse team they were savages. They were more brutal than the dudes. Like I would go to school, girls come in with torn ACLs, broken fingers, black eyes, like elbows dislocated. I'm like, what do y'all be doing?
Canada's
A
national
bunch of
sport.
stuff that's illegal in hockey is super legal in lacrosse.
Oh, my
Like,
first
whatever you
hockey
want.
game. I went to my first hockey game like 2 years ago, and Oh my God, that was an experience right there, dude. I actually saw dude's tooth fly out when they, I guess, got
They do
this,
that.
when they do the
Catch
swim
it.
or whatever.
And catch it, take it home.
Years they call those.
And that was a moment of history with our guest and host.
That's why they call it spitting chiclets.
Nice.
History. In the
Oh,
post-credit scene, this is my speculation, but maybe I'll be right. That'd be hilarious. History. In the post-credit scene of the new Fantastic Four movie, the FF will fall on Doom's time platform and sent somewhere and somewhen by Doom. Which historical period will make the best sequel?
I'm glad you said best sequel instead of what it says.
Well, it's a debate, so you kind of qualify everything as your answer is better than everyone else's. But yes.
I was worried the truest answer would be where they see them in the cameo at the end of spoilers. So, but that's not the
Did you
answer.
get spoilers for that movie already?
No, like Thunderbolts, stories, asterisks, New Avengers, post-credit scene, spoilers, Fantastic Four ship. So I was worried the correct answer would be that, but my answer is better than that.
All right, Dan, you're up
Okay, we'll
first.
have at her.
All right.
Flame
So,
on.
if they were sent a when and a where, my ideal scenario for the setting of a movie would be 1940s mid-war in some place, somewhere, sometime in the middle of all that chaos. That's a sweet picture. By the way, there are so many tie-ins to characters who have already been created, many of whom are already ageless. It would be great to see my boy Chris come back, but in the blues, if they could somehow keep him there to be Steve Rogers and they crossed paths. Namor, who was I would just like to see the invaders and everyone else in their 1940s get-ups and them changing the tide of war, but also trying to be clandestine, in a way that makes them able to avoid the time paradoxes that would inevitably come with that. Ideal situation, best thing they could throw down would be the new casting for Wolverine and have that guy there and his own little regiment fighting for Canada. So you could bring all the things that you love. Best case scenario.
Dan, I feel like you're trying to play inside baseball on this one. But that would make an awesome movie. Yeah, part of this question, Dan, hold on one second. Part of this question, Dan, was you have to define the somewhen as well.
Yeah.
Where are they during the war? No, you said somewhere. Where? Or when?
I said Germany.
Where as well? Where are they? Germany?
Yeah,
on the front?
Germany. On the front, in the midst of the war. Well, Latveria is where they'll be actually, which would be someplace embedded in the mountainside. So they're
Latveria during World War II would be interesting.
What was even happening? Magic stuff, probably.
All right.
Ready, Niffy?
Niffy.
Ready,
Niffy Storm. Am I the only person who can handle that name? Come on now. Anyway.
Well, if the Fantastic Four end up in another timeline or time, I'm going to throw out ancient Rome, and I can picture the movie. It's like part Fantastic Four, part Troy, part Gladiator. So the Fantastic Four will arrive. They'll be like, "Look at who are these outsiders, these invaders," and throw them in the Colosseum. Obviously, they make easy work of their opponents, and then they somehow manage to become royal guests of the Emperor's crew. Like Reed can offer strategic advice to the Emperor, maybe offer some new timeline-based technology. Johnny and Ben could be on the front lines if they do have to go to war. Sue could be made into the women, and it'll all work out.
All work out.
As it did for the Romans. Dave, you're up.
Okay. I picked the tail end of the Paleolithic era, somewhere to the west of Asia, east of Europe. They're dumped there to be forgotten. Reed, of course, is going to be able to find a way back. That's not even a problem. but they happen to arrive at the exact moment, the tipping point, when Neanderthals are about to lose a size of their population to the Homo sapiens, that they're no longer a breedable size population. Like the breed realizes that this is the moment the lines are drawn. The Neanderthals can't survive. They're being totally outclassed by this new coming wave of people that are able to form larger units. And there's the Fantastic Four has this big moral debate. Like, do they alter history? What happens if the Neanderthals don't die out and there are two classes of two species of humans in the present day?
Moloids
I want to
happening.
see all of these movies.
Yeah.
Top marks, fellas. I'm going to throw one onion into your ointments, though, for the open debate, which is go Canucks. No, we don't say those type of things. Oh, wait, unless you're talking about Canadians. If you're talking about hockey, then we don't really.
I like how that's where you draw the line. Hey, it's not. We're not allowed to talk sports. You can get political.
So, the onion in the ointment. What do they do with Ben in your guys' movie? Like, how do they explain Ben in any of these times?
Like,
The onion in the ointment. Otherwise, debate as you normally.
I think in ancient Rome it would probably be the easiest because, you know, their belief in Zeus and, you know, their gods, they could say like, oh, he's a special gift from the gods. He's like their chosen warrior, like he's the new coming of Hercules or something like that. He could be used on the battlefront.
fair. Hercules is Greek, and I wish you'd pick Greece for that reason. Which I was like, oh man. But at the same time, in both of your guys' instances, your guys will be revered as gods. It would be almost impossible. They'd have to find exclusive places in the Marvel universe to not be recognized as like exceptional and magical and sorceress style. By at least 1940s, we've already established we've got Spitfire there, so someone could see Torch and be like, "Is that?" Huh. And then there's already again another Human Torch, so that one's in the bag. There's like several monsters that exist. I don't think it will be as hard to sell. And not to mention, Ben is well used to trying to hide himself in what would already be 1940s, like trilby hats and coats. And, but I do lament your guys' failure to focus on the clandestine, though. It was a topic where they would need to have avoided their presence being known, not for the fact that they're sensational visibly, but for the fact that they're so far anachronistically out of time.
When they arrive in the Paleolithic era, they are initially seen as gods, much to the discomfort of the Fantastic Four, who don't want to be regarded that way.
Yeah,
but
and yours is,
even though these people have technology, the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals, they're not pre-human level intelligence, and they're eventually able to figure out that these are just different kinds of what we are. And they've already been visited by gods in this continuity. The Norse guys have been bringing around. The Syrian gods, the Persian gods, they've all been like really actually there. So they have a base of like, oh, these guys aren't like these guys. These guys are guys that we can relate to and possibly use in our struggles against whatever evil Odin. Yeah, Odin. Odin is back.
What was that prehistoric Avengers book recently? What was that?
I think Reed, no matter how much he wants to like contain it, he can't help but show off the fact that he's a genius. He might not think of it as showing it off, but he'll try to like reinvent the wheel when he's in ancient Rome or when he's in the
they messed up there. Mine's a complicated movie, and when they get back in the future, nothing is the same.
And to your point, David, about messing up the time stream, I think we already established that was kind of a plot hole in Endgame, because they went back in time and clearly that changed the definition of what, like, you know, the butterfly effect is or what messing up the time stream will do. Because they went back in time, made some massive changes, and nothing happened.
But that's because the time, whatever, the TVA was pruning things and We don't even know it's the same universe. It's hard to say.
I don't think it's safe to assume that Reed would have willingly gone back to any of those places, and he would have done everything in his power to not intervene, with the exception of a few events that would have been inevitable.
One of Reed's biggest quotes is, "My job is to fix everything."
Right?
Yeah, and
That's
he
why
said
he's
he
so
set up a
smart.
new set
That's
of
why
problems.
he's
I'm
so
also gonna
brainy.
say
He wants to
the
be
40s are too
the-
close to the 60s. I gotta get that.
Well,
in
I
there.
mean, this new movie is in the 60s, and
Yeah, I
that's
know.
when they
So the
came.
40s is way too
That's
close.
valid. It would be a good explanation as to why you got a super futuristic 60s, because you would only have to have gone back to like 20 years to have changed things technologically in an extremely fast amount of time. It's the best explanation as to why they're there. But that's beside the point.
Sue in a fur bikini.
Sue in a 1940s pencil dress.
Yeah, okay.
Sue in the cutout, the 90s cutout. Anyway,
That was sexy.
Oh yeah, the 4.
yeah,
The 4 all on the
it
titties.
wasn't the shape of a 4, wasn't it? Oh yeah. Okay.
Doing the rogue
Um,
savage planet.
Point the world's greatest Dave Cutler. That was a tough one. That was a close one.
World's greatest.
Well,
That'd be a cool movie.
not Dan. Dave skewered you too hard there at the end. It was close between Hanif and Dave.
Yeah, I didn't want to go on the attack too much more, but I just don't think Reed would have put that much at risk unless you brought like Franklin into it.
See,
Like,
Reed
if-
doesn't
if
want to
someone
at
was like, "He
first, but
stole
Ben and
Sue."
Johnny get real in with the Neanderthals, man, and they're all like, I don't
Yeah.
know, these are good people, and they're almost at the.
yeah.
It's a
I
It's
think
a
Reed.
deep
I think Reed's natural curiosity will get the best of him, and then he won't purposely be like, "Oh, let me show you how smart I am." He's going to be like, "Huh, look at that. That looks like it could be used
Yeah,
as
that's
a tweak."
valid. That's
That's-
valid.
that's-
But all 4 of them are there. They ground each other. Like Ben will be like, "We gotta go."
Yeah, but I
They
think because Reed is so smart that a lot of them they just like, you know what, that's above my wheelhouse. I'm not going to even touch that. Sue just
But you
is like,
gotta watch it though. You gotta stand there, and these people are historically supposed to die, but you're gonna have to witness it, and you got the ability to stop it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Why
do?
were they like naturally intelligent enough to be like not able to make that disconnect, like, and not just slinging poop? Like you wouldn't be like, oh, they could go.
I'm going on the theory that the main difference culturally between humans and Neanderthals was humans developed a ability for their language to talk about things that don't exist. So what humans actually have is religion, because they can speak in the abstract, whereas the Neanderthals are almost more science-based. Like they're just like, what we have here is all we can relate to. So they don't
Well-
have this like uniform code of ethics. So they can't rise in populations above like 150, whereas humans can get themselves all on the same page by adopting a religion, and they come at them in forces of like thousands to hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It's the best movie of all time.
If you could have fit that in a minute, I would have given you the point too.
I just thought of it.
It was 3-way debate until Dave's just like the 40s is too close to the 60s. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is.
Such a cool
Like, it wasn't a
movie.
huge
Wolverine,
skewer, but it was enough. It was
America.
enough.
Skewer you on those Wolverine quads.
No, you had me at first. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that Invaders FF team up. But and then you were talking about Wolverine and stuff. Anyway, I got excited. But anyway, I was excited about all your movies. Wild Card. The Fantastic Four are working on their branding and trying out a new team name. Choose a new adjective for the team to use instead of fantastic. It's funny, you all stuck with F. We weren't messing with the FF moniker. I didn't say you had to keep an F word, but you all did. Anyway, Henny, you're up.
cool,
Yeah,
cool,
word.
cool. Waiting for the timer. All right, cool. All right, my F word is famous, and simply put, the Fantastic Four are arguably the most famous superhero team in the Marvel universe for the simple fact that they're public. They're a public group. Their identities are known to the public. They already have branding and merchandise going for them. You know, they're probably ad babies doing commercials and all types of stuff. So why not make them famous and let the public know that they're famous? Obviously, you know, with other superheroes, their identities are still a secret. Some of them haven't revealed themselves. So it just makes sense. Like, it's not like people are going around. I mean, they are calling him Mr. Fantastic, but I guarantee most of them are saying Reed Richards or Sue or, hey, Mr. Grimm or Johnny, come over here and get a picture with me. So the famous term is relative.
Oh God.
Okay, did you just hit background music?
Who, me?
If you did, genius move. It adds tension late in the show. Genius producer move, if that's what just happened. Anyway, or I'm hallucinating. Either way, genius.
It's been there the whole time, buddy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I was like, did it change?
Dave, you're next.
Okay, so this whole time we've kept Fantastic Four to Reed, Johnny, Sue, and the other guy. Did I say them all?
Ben?
Maybe. I don't know. We
His
kept
name's
it to the
Ben.
main four. But those aren't always the Fantastic Four. Members come and go. People die. They get lost in the future, lost in the past. Somebody else has got to come in. Reed is gone. They're missing a leader. Johnny's gone. They're missing the cool guy. Who steps in? George Clinton, Bootsy Collins. We've got the Funkadelic Four, ladies and gentlemen. The whole suits are kitted out differently. They're in sequence. They're like 70s flair, man. They all have the star glasses like Bootsy. And that's all I've got for this. So yeah.
Were you there the day the funk died?
Yeah, go listen to some Bootsy. It's good stuff.
Reminds me of the Mighty Boots.
Go do it.
Have you ever milked a funky ball of teeth?
Have you ever milked a funky ball of teeth? Oh God. So did 4 have to be part of the name anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah.
changing the adjective.
Good, because if I had my choice, I would have gone with the First Family, because frankly, the First Family is the best alternate. But the Fierce 4, because again, coming back to Sue, she's fierce. She's a mom. It's all about family. Familial 4 didn't sound right. Family 4 didn't sound right. It isn't always about bloodlines. It's always about something much deeper as a connection. I was watching the original Fantastic Four 2005 movie, and quick shout out RIP to the original Doom from that movie who recently passed. But the relationship, the relationship even between Ben and Reed, the friendship there, the actual blood bonds between everyone else, and then when you bring Franklin and Val into the mix, you really see how family is everything. So they're fierce in their fight for family. That is what makes the Fantastic Four. That's who they are, and that's what makes them who they are. In fact, it's their extension of friendship and family that brings people in to cover all those membership vacancies. So
They should add Vin Diesel to the team.
right, yeah,
It's all about
family drives off. Yeah. So free debate. What were the other ones? Funkadelic.
famous for.
Famous, I mean, I got it. You are spot on. Celebrity is part of who they are. Masklessness is what they represent. However, as you've also pointed on Dave's side, you're bringing in a lot of members whose identity may need to remain a little bit anonymous. Bombastic Bagman being a Bombastic Bagman, a choice to represent that point. But there's plenty of other people. While Logan didn't have to keep his mask on, Ghost Rider isn't super keen on making sure everybody always knows who he is. There were definitely times where not everybody knew who Bruce was.
But famous doesn't necessarily mean that their identities are public. I'm just saying that because with the original 4, their identities were public. But they're famous just because when their team is there, it's them. It's the big giant 4 on their chest. Oh, that's that one team. That's 4 of them. They're famous. I saw them on the TV. They got
not famous enough for anybody to remember in the MCU at this point.
One of their action figures.
Yeah, they are super famous. I agree. Are they as iconic as your Friendly Neighborhood Dude? Are they as iconic
Probably
as
not,
the Sandman with the event?
I mean, but the Fantastic Four don't have like someone like J. Jonah Jameson constantly writing editorials about why that person is a menace. Like I guarantee that J. Jonah Jameson will probably sit down with Reed and his family longer before he would sit down with Spider-Man, and that speaks to their faith.
And I'm sure people run to them.
And I'm sure Reed does like the massive like speaking engagements and tours and stuff like that. And They're on top. I mean, even if you like watch the original cartoon from the 90s, their first episode, they were sitting on like what's it, Johnny Cash's not Johnny Cash, the talk show
Johnny
host. They
Carson.
were
Johnny
Johnny Carson. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not debating, right? I mean, I'm not debating that they're famous. Is it a good name is the question here. I mean, the fierceness with which they defend each other is really, it's the only thing that allows them to become unhinged. It's the time
But I
that
think
powers
Fierce,
extend.
but I think Fierce,
My Johnny Carson reference.
but I think Fierce could also be misconstrued as like fierce. Like it can come off as very aggressive.
I agree.
Well,
and
behind every
famous
man.
can come off as conceited.
Yeah, well, you have
But-
when you have someone like Johnny Storm on your team, conceited kind of rolls with it. Even
But
though
they
the
have to
other,
worry about the public perception of them, and no
Real
one is going
talk,
to deny that they're funkadelic with George Clinton and Bootsy Collins on the team. And
but if they're
Marvel loves
they're on the team.
jukebox trailers. So it's just think
But
of
if
all the
they're-
music
Yeah.
you could have in the trailer. The big needle drop at the end when the credits roll. Man, what a movie! And also, the first movie set in the '60s. You said it in the '70s. It's all '75. The whole thing, except you had to have
Well, are
like
they-
a rap song.
well, with the name like the Funkadelics, do they have funk in them? Are they talented?
Fantastic Day.
Oh yeah, George Clinton and Bootsy Collins. They
Yeah,
got
okay,
funk.
real talk. When it
Join
comes
the
to Funky
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four.
Four, when it comes to Funky
The
Fantastic Four,
membership
real talk.
changes, man. The people come and people go. They
What
got powers
dude
somehow in
in-
this. Like obviously they're not just like two musicians, but they are still musicians.
Power
they
of
do-
funk.
Does the thing fart, and what does it smell like? Funky Four. These are questions. that
No,
need answers.
funkadelic,
Yes,
not,
and
funky,
granite.
not funky. Funkadelic.
Like, is it like rock dust if you like throw a bag of like cement dust down?
I think it's like a mixture of like glitter and
Probably sulfur.
Yeah, and
Why?
Reed parts like
it's like
Reed
rocky
makes like
glitter.
super
Like dust.
percussive
It's like
parts.
dusty
He can
glitter.
control he can control his parts super well.
How did we get on to farts? Anyway,
Because funk.
Funky Four, yeah. All of Johnny's parts are Blue Angels.
Funkadelic, not funky.
Sue just sends her
Producer
parts
Murphy,
across
we're
the
gonna
room
have
in a
to
bubble.
finagle a tiebreaker here because Hanif point. So we have a
Oh.
three-way tie. I do have a question we can do here, but how we get their answers from them. is-
I've got a question already lined up.
Oh,
You got a
man.
question? All right, let's do it.
Can we just? I'll settle with a three-way tie. I don't care.
No, there's a whole speed round.
I'm all about
Yeah,
suing
no,
for peace.
yeah. So how this is gonna break down is we're going to do a three-way tie. The one with the worst answer is going to be eliminated. And then the next two players are going to move on to the speed round.
If I had this in the bag.
Will be explained. So, once Davin's done reading the question, you get to first one to yell out their choice is the first one to have the argument, and
We could
then
have done that for my question too. I'll be interested to see what yours is. Let's go.
Davin will choose what the rotation is. Everybody gets a minute, and then we'll do another 4 minutes. So, with that, Davin, if you will.
Mhm.
Super scroll.
Yeah, I'll go with
No,
that.
you got to
All
wait
right.
until Davin reads. the
Three-way
question first.
tiebreaker. I like this question. This is fine. Super Skrull, Doctor Doom, or Galactus? Which villain is the saddest of the three?
Super scroll.
We'll give Hanif Super Skrull. Go, Hanif.
Galactus.
I was gonna say after you, Dave. I could defend any three of those seven of.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so Hanif's up first with a minute.
Hanif's up with me. Yep, Super Skrull. Good question, Murphy.
When does the time start?
There you go.
Okay, so Super Scroll is his whole race is a tale of just being victims. Like they were disadvantaged at the start. Their homeworld was eaten by Galactus, and then they were kind of forced into like a warlike situation because of a rival alien race like the Kree. And then on top of that, being Clert, you're forced into an experiment that you didn't really want to be a part of, and you're borrowing DNA from a group of human mutated heroes and you're augmenting yourself. I mean, as much as he's like very powerful and stuff, I'm pretty sure that's not the life that he wanted to live. So Super Skrull was put in a situation that he really didn't want to be a part of. And it's kind of not his fault. It was just how the dice were rolled and how the cookie crumbled.
I'm gonna roll a dice.
That's tough.
I don't have a cookie. Anyway, Dave.
Okay. Galactus. Wait, is it counting up? I'm saying zero.
Sorry,
He's sad
no,
because he's hungry.
It's a glitch.
No. Okay, let's go. Galactus. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do, I've heard.
Oh.
Galactus is the last member of a dead universe. He's out there floating alone. So he thinks, I'm going to make a little herald to keep me company. But the thing is, 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. A no is the saddest experience you'll ever do. He shows up to a planet and they repel him. He doesn't get to eat. That's sad. Yes can be as bad as no. It's the saddest experience you'll ever do. So he eats the planet and he's responsible for trillions of souls gone. But that's what he's got to do just to exist. And he's possessed by this hunger that's been put in his stomach like a black hole from surviving the whatever. I don't remember the details. His name is Galen, and that's not
Yes, universe.
also
Galen.
Yeah, his name's Galen. Yeah, Galen.
Galen. Even worse. Or better.
Those are really
Wow.
good, fellas, and I'm impressed by Dan's confidence in debating any of these. So I'm looking forward to your debate here, Dan.
I mean, yeah. Is the time started?
Give it to us, Dan.
Doom. Why is Doom sad?
All right. So since I have one, well, oh, there we go. So, Doom, it's lonely at the top. You're right, Dave. It is lonely at the top. He has everything he could want: a country, all the intelligence you could need, mystical powers, but he's not the greatest mystical artist. He's not the most intelligent scientist. He isn't even the greatest ruler. I mean, what can he do? Can't do anything right, or can't even do enough to get Sue. What does he have at the end of the day? He's alone. So alone, he fills himself and his life with images of himself that he can't even look at. So he fills himself, his whole entire castle, with images of the mask that he wears. That's so sad, man. Guy can't even look himself in the face in the morning. There is nothing more sad than a covetous world leader who just wishes they could have what is just out of reach, thinking that they're the greatest in everything that they do because of sycophants that are literally wear his face. I mean, so sad at the top and sad at the bottom. It's a long way to fall.
Holy shit, I'm glad this was a three-way tie. This is the best one. I can't wait for this open debate.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, it is sad at the top, but I mean, when you're like the ruler of like an entire nation, it's not like Tony Stark who owns like a company or a couple of shares, but when you run an entire nation, I mean, that's a pretty top spot to be at, lonely or not. And I mean, from what I've read, they said that because of Doom's iron hand, he's keeping crime basically to none in his country because of the fact that he rules it so strictly and so
Do
powerful.
you think that makes him happy? Do you think that gets him friends?
I think he's at a point in his life where he doesn't care about friends. He just cares about being ruled or ruling over people.
He
Dave,
has
can you
his.
think of one time you've ever seen Dr. Doom smile?
Never.
Well, he's got a mask.
I mean, he's
I've
got
never
a
seen
hard
Galactus
screen.
smile. I've never seen Galactus smile, but Doom has his relationship with Valeria, which is a sound, for him, healthy relationship. He's got somebody. Galactus got nobody. And Super Skrull, I'm sure, has family and friends. He's probably a celebrity. I don't know.
No, he doesn't have any. They look at him. They kind of look at him like a freak. They're like, "Oh, look at this guy. He went through mad experiments." And they're probably scared of him too.
Like,
There's more than one Super Skrull now, though. There's
there
all
are
kinds.
like 12 Super Skrulls. Yeah. They
Yeah,
all
but-
have a little poker game.
They can have a little club.
stories.
They can have a club, and a
Not
club they all fam.
Yeah, but imagine you
Does
were just
Galactus
like,
even have?
yeah, but imagine you're like, you were just chilling. You living a peaceful life with your family, your friends, and all of a sudden, your fucking world gets eaten by the lonely guy, Galactus, and then you're kind of forced into this
They're all
world
bad
that you
dudes,
didn't
man.
even.
I'm not saying that these are good dudes, but it's Galactus is just he's a force of nature, and he used to be a man. He
If
can never
anybody
feel
saw-
connection with anyone or anything. It's a sad
Yeah.
existence.
Well, I mean,
But
I
how can
don't
you be
think.
sad if you can't even have emotions?
Yeah, if you're
Why
a
you
force of
can't just
if you're a
forgive
force
it
of
bad?
nature, how are you sad?
I think Galactus's sadness is so profound a human couldn't even understand it. It's just like a
I don't even.
constant
I don't
state.
think. I don't think a lot of alien races could understand it either.
No.
Dr. Doom's
I think-
sadness is so profound that when in Secret Wars the Beyonder pulled all of them, everyone we've just mentioned, into one spot, he sought to like console Galactus. Actually, he rode his coattails to try and find the source of the power so that he could get out of there also. But still, in that whole
See,
group of people,
Doom is
Yeah,
too
and-
responsible for his own.
Galactus and Doctor Doom don't have to worry about war or protecting their own because they're like basically, like you said, they're the cream of the crop. They're at the top. The Skrull basically need each other. They have to survive. They're already beefing with another alien race, and then they're trying to find another planet to call their home. And in a sense, the Skrulls are kind of in the same boat as Galactus. They're trying to find somewhere to like rest their head in a sense.
the
But
cost of
whereas
the, of
Galactus
this,
did.
I'll concede to you that yours is a more relatable kind of sadness, but it's also a more common kind of sadness, and it's a sadness that a community can share and spread across, and it can become their strength, this suffering that they're going through together. But Galactus has no one, man. At the end of the day, he's in a vacuum. He's in a void. He can't even hear himself talk half the time.
Doom
He's
wears
just
the scars
alone.
of the things that he had to do to get himself to the position that you covet, the position that you say is so great. That piece comes at such a cost. Valeria
But
is
Doom
like
brought a lot of that onto himself just based on
Yes,
his
Doom
personal
is
like,
responsible
ego.
for his own.
hey,
Turd.
He's
that's
responsible for his own loneliness. Sorry.
I'm not the victim.
So, what happened here is interesting. So,
Oh, gosh.
Dan, what did you say your overall theme was for this debate?
Attacking other people's answers.
It's family, and they skewered
Oh,
you
yeah.
with your own answer.
Oh, yeah, no,
Like,
that's-
you all made great points, but you guys went in on Dan the worst. Like, they were just attacking Doom left and right, Dan. You were like almost like cursed by picking
Only at
Doom because they went at Doom.
Well, yeah,
hard on
you
this.
went last.
Yeah, and they went so hard at Doom, and like the
But
main
he's used to that. He
skewering of
defends
Doom
himself.
was
What?
his relationship with Valeria, and like the other two don't have that like kind of beautiful family relationship that he actually does have with one person, only one
Yeah.
person. But
You don't think that's like
there's that, man. Like, I think that
that's like exploitative. That's to get under Reed's skin. That's a final thorn that he can use to be like, oh, Reed, you don't have anything. You don't have everything.
I
This
think it
whole
started
thing
that
is
way. Like when he was just like name your like make me your kid's godfather and make your old lady call me Doom in the sack. Like that was just like his like thing in the original moment. Yes,
Listen,
but no, I
Valeria
actually
didn't
think
seem
his
super
relationship with
voluntarily
Valeria is
there
quite nice.
in Secret Wars.
So Dan, you're joining the judge and ranks with me.
There.
You're gonna help me decide the winner.
I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just went hard at Doom. I'm
Well,
just
see,
like I
the
can't
thing is,
ignore
you
the fact that they're just skewering the shit.
It's because of the format. Like, we didn't have to win. We just had to not lose.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like when you're being chased by a bear with your friend. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun your friend.
All right.
I feel like Galactus. I won, but look what's left in my wake.
Nothing.
Speed round. Speed round.
Broken
Now
dreams.
it's time for the speed round.
So for the speed round, you guys are just gonna have to yell out whatever answer you want, and the first one I hear goes first. If it's a tie, I'm probably gonna like just side with Hanif because he's farther away geographically. But it's
Yeah,
very, very, very
It
rarely.
takes
do we
longer
get
for the
a tie.
voice to travel over the internet tubes. So I understand how it works.
Exactly. But well, if there's a tie, it's a tie. But anyway, so speed round. Here we go. What's the score right now? Is it 2-2?
It's 2-2.
Yeah, it's 2-2.
Oh wow.
Or
Here we go.
3-3.
No,
Yeah.
technically it's 2-2 because Dan was eliminated. Nobody really got a point there. So.
Oh,
It was an
Cool
elimination
format there.
round.
All right.
All right.
Speed
So,
round.
bing bing.
Number one.
Again, after he reads the question, yell out your answer. Oh, and one more
Ruby.
thing. Sorry, because
Yep.
you didn't explain this. When you get the
Try.
answer, you get 30 seconds for your explainer, and then you get a 15-second rebuttal.
Okay, that's where the
So-
speed comes in.
Yeah, that's where the speed comes in.
Just quick.
All right, here we go.
This is just get your verbal jabs in there. Speed round movies.
Great attack.
The Thing and Invisible Woman have both been movies unrelated to the FF. Of the remaining two, which makes a better movie? Human Torch or Mr. Fantastic?
Human Torch.
All right, Human Torch. Why is that a cool movie unrelated to the Fantastic Four?
Do I get my... The youngest child of the Storm family lost both his parents. Have been
Related
raised-
to the Fantastic Four.
and it's a coming of age tale of a hot-headed person with a heart at the core of everything, and sometimes the flame can get cooled when you're telling a good story.
30 seconds, David.
Um.
Mr. Fantastic. Why is that a great movie title?
Oh, it's just the title?
Well, no, it's the
Oh,
movie
I get
based
the
on that
question
title.
now.
Yeah, do you get
I
the
understand.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
because
John
Mr.
Carpenter's The
Fantastic
Thing.
is like real open-ended, man. It's like Phantasmagorium of Dr. Parnassus or whatever. It's what is that? Like the kids will just be like, I got to know who Mr. Fantastic is. We got to go see this. It doesn't even matter what the movie's about. I think there's a movie called Captain Fantastic, and that's probably a good thing.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
Close.
15-second
but not the
rebuttal,
same.
Hanif.
Yep.
15-second rebuttal.
Hanif.
So I'm just gonna ask, what is Reed bringing to the table? What interesting stories about his upbringing?
Reed is unrelated to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's The Thing is a movie about a
The
transforming
Thing is a
alien.
movie by John Carpenter about an
That's what I
alien.
just clued into.
Oh.
My questions are too complex, I think. Point
Yeah.
Dave because he understood the question.
All right.
I'm always like, yay, I've come up with such clever questions, and then no one understands them. So I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, I only understood it
Anyway.
when you explained it the second time. I didn't explain it
Yeah.
when you said it the first time.
Fair enough. It's a speed round. There's no time for explanation. All right. Question 2.
Hang on, give me a second. Sorry. Come on, sound effects.
Ding, ding. We got lots of dinging. We're
Yeah,
dinging.
sorry.
Bring it, ding, ding. Speed round TV. What's the better idea for an animated TV show? Marvel Team Up featuring The Thing, which was a comic book, or a kids' cartoon starring Franklin and Valeria?
Kids cartoon with Frank and Val.
Why is it better?
Good.
Any
Waiting for the clock. I mean, everybody loves good children's TV. Everybody likes family-friendly, wholesome series about young kids and their adventures. And what better show to pitch than the story of two children that are the children of two prominent members of the Fantastic Four. And we could get it. It could be like, Rugrats or Muppet Babies, but on a super powered scale.
Power Pack.
30 seconds to Dave.
When we named our favorite Fantastic Four members, 2 out of 4 people said The Thing. He is the most popular Fantastic Four guy by a wide, long margin. And every week, he's in a different sexy adventure with some other denizen of the Marvel Universe. Writes itself, basically. And even if kids can't get into The Thing, Spider-Man's on next week, and he's a Fantastic Four character, I heard.
15-second rebuttal, Hanif.
What would who would the Thing series be pitched to? Would it be an adult thing? Would it be a kids thing? Or would it just be a combination of both?
Oh, is it we both talk this time? Oh, it's all ages.
Go for
man.
it. Answer the question.
Yeah, it's for everybody. The thing is, there's a little
Give
thing
him
in
another
all of us.
15.
There's a little thing in me.
Pause.
All right, keep going, Hanif.
Don't keep going.
Well,
I think
he
I'm
blew his
having-
3 seconds on a question. Go,
Oh.
go.
Nobody
Sorry.
likes kids named Franklin.
What about that turtle?
Franklin's a turtle's name.
Oh. Do you know Franklin the turtle in America?
I think so.
You guys
Yeah, we know Franklin.
Okay. I thought maybe he was a Canadian thing.
Probably,
No.
probably.
That
What
one is
happens now?
closed.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points for having listened to it, and may God have mercy on your soul. I award you no points, and may...
Honestly, agree. We're simpatico tonight, Murphy. No points. All right.
What?
So,
I thought I had that one. Okay.
no. Both of those debates were kind of bad. All right. So, moving on.
Bam.
Speed round music. In a 60-set Fantastic Four movie, who should do the soundtrack? Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles?
Jimmy.
Beatles.
Hey, Jimmy.
I think the Beatles are too tame for a group like the Fantastic Four. Jimi Hendrix is definitely about that life. He's got the action, but he's also got the smooth. And I think it would be better given the members of the team like Johnny and Ben, who are about that action too. And
30 seconds to David.
Okay. Jimmy's late 60s. Fantastic Four, early 60s. They're contemporaries of the Beatles. The Fantastic Four, the Fab Four. They're four weirdos who came to America, one from outer space, kind of, sort of, on the way back, and the other from Britain, and they just caused a storm. Beatles music is all kinds of different tones. I mean, some of the, like, Helter Skelter is like proto metal, so they can do all kinds of stuff. I don't know. Beatles have a wide catalog, way bigger than Jimmy's.
15-second rebuttal.
I think the Beatles having a big catalog is cool, but if you pick the right specific song from said catalog, it could be the anthem for their whole theme and whole team.
15-second rebuttal.
Yeah, I think ultimately it just comes down to the wider selection. They just have a wider discography, and sure, yeah, I got nothing.
Should make some discography with a reach like Reed's arm.
You're gonna go point Hanif on this one.
Woo.
All right.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know about this
bias,
system.
bias on my part. I'd rather listen to Hendrix. Let's go. Let's go. Speed round sports. Better sports team name: the Things or the Invisibles?
Invisibles.
What's the
Invisibles.
sport?
Why is it the Invisibles?
I think with the Invisibles, that name speaks to like how they play and how what they bring to the field or to the court. And I think with the Invisibles, it's just basically telling the opposition team, like, we're going to play so good, you're not even going to see us coming. We're going to hit you so good that you're not going to see us coming. And it's just a better name than the Bland Things.
Yes, Dave Cutler.
The Things. Now, I'm Canadian, and I'm part of the Raptors generation. When I was in the 6th grade, the Raptors debuted, and they went with, I was used to hornets, little bugs, bulls, a cow. Raptors, ferocious, horrible animal with this cool cartoon mascot. The things are the things from The Thing, and it's this horrible, twisted thing with 10 hands and basketballs and all of them. Heads for a penis. It's a great mascot.
And penis for a head.
Yeah.
15-second rebuttal.
You literally explained why your team is the things by saying the things like 3 times, and it begs for some creativity. And that's all I got.
Ooh.
15-second rebuttal.
The Thing is such a twisted monster of mishmash parts. It's the most creative thing you could imagine. It's one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. And I think The Invisibles describes their score at the end of the game.
We're Cronenberg's party. We're Cronenberg's.
Oh, what an uppercut that was at the end.
Yeah. He should have called them the Human Torches, because he just flamed me with that one.
Damn, it was all yours until that sentence. And if I'm going to give the point to Dave, damn. That
Ooh.
was yeah.
I don't know. I would have waited in
verbal
until,
uppercut.
because
What
you
do you
never
think,
see
Dave?
him.
What do you think, Dan?
You never see him coming. We forgot how good that was. I think you should have defined the sport.
Too. That was great too.
Like if it was a race thing.
Think
like-
about how much merch the Raptors moved when they weren't even good.
But like, who would want a Cronenberg on their jersey?
Every kid.
I don't know what you put on an invisible jersey, but I would sure as hell love.
They'd have to play naked.
They always play skins.
You're right, Dan, but he kind of skewered the Invisibles with that's their score at the end of the game.
Yeah, I realize now it's all about the final punch.
Not
That's how I
always.
lost.
Not always.
That's why I'm here.
Oh, verbal uppercuts at the end definitely go far on this show. All right, let's go.
Around history.
Yeah.
Oh,
Favorite historical figure to be revealed was actually Dr. Doom, Albert Einstein, or Grigory Rasputin.
Einstein.
Einstein. Why is it Einstein?
If you look at Doom's whole beef with Richards, he's always wanted to prove that he was better than Richards, and being that they went to school together, I think being smarter than him is something that is like a top priority. And with Einstein, when you have someone like Einstein, who's renowned as one of the greatest geniuses of our time, I think it would make better sense for Doom to relate to him than Rasputin.
30 seconds, David.
There's an episode in the 4th or 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where Buffy nearly gets laughed out of the classroom for suggesting that Rasputin is a vampire. He's not. He's actually Dr. Doom, because Dr. Doom is an occultist and a scientist. And the rah-rah Rasputin, lover of Reed Richards' queen, it was a shame how he carried on.
Just greatest love machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Latvia's good.
15-second rebuttal.
Boney M's awesome, by the way. Everyone go check out your Boney M's.
I don't know if I can reflect that. I just say, brain over brawn. And Einstein is smart. That's all I got.
Einstein refused to work on the bomb, though. Would Doom refuse to work on the bomb?
There you go. You can.
No, this is you can answer here.
I think Doom would think strategically about it, and he would pick his battles and pick what to work on.
All right, one more 15-second rebuttal.
I don't know. I'm at the end of my rope here. I don't know a lot about Rasputin. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
It was a good question.
Dan, what do you think about this one?
It's like, I thought that was a good question because, I mean, truthfully, it's like Doom is the worst and the best of both of those guys. I think if you don't realize how much Doom does focus on magic, it would be at a loss to just throw all your eggs in the intelligence basket. So I probably would go with Dave, but I would have agreed with Anif in terms of like, if you just said Einstein as Doom would have known to not let people know he wasn't Einstein. Like Einstein's Goofy, he would have presented himself like Goofy because he's that intelligent that that's what he needs you to think he is. That's the mask. But
Well, so David's argument kind of fell apart there in the end. So I mean, that kind of felt like a forfeit to me.
What?
I thought his rebuttal fell apart, but
Oh my god!
it was a rebuttal to another falling apart rebuttal. So.
See, I thought I had it in the bag, so I was like, oh,
I'm not the host here. It's Davin's
I'm
call.
not
It's
mad
just
anymore because
my 2 cents.
It's point Dave, so he has one, but I want to do the last debate anyway because it's a good one.
Do the other guys not have a vote? Because those 2-1 for me. But whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, technically Dave's
Do the
one.
last one anyway. If Hanif wins real bad, then maybe we'll call it a tie.
Well, I mean, all right. Then we'll do it this way. If Hanif wins it, he gets double points, and we'll go into a tiebreaker. All right.
Speed round wildcard. What do we need to see in live action more? Hulk versus Thing or Spider-Man Fantastic Four team up?
Spider-Man FF.
Why?
30 seconds, Dave.
We've seen the Hulk I don't know. We've seen the Hulk versus some big guys. And that is ultimately what it is at the end of the day. But Spider-Man and the FF have a special bond. I've often been told that he is an honorary Fantastic Four character, and points have been awarded on that basis. But it's a dynamic we never really see play out in anywhere except for the '90s cartoon, which was one of the rougher seasons. But so we never really got to see it in a big way.
30 seconds, Hanif.
The Hulk and the Thing is arguably one of the most iconic matchups next to like Hulk and like Wolverine. Anytime the Hulk is going head to head with somebody of his stature or close to, it's like watching your favorite boxing match or whatever. And with the MCU's, I'm not gonna say less than, but with the Hulk's recent performances in the show, I think it's time that we get a more meaner Hulk that is smashing heads again.
15-second rebuttal, Dave.
It's difficult for them to make a Hulk movie. The rights are murky, so it'd be hard to make a movie where it's just the Hulk and one other guy. I say.
15-second rebuttal.
I think Spider-Man and Fantastic Four would be cool, but I think at this point, people are kind of Spider-Man out just because he's been with the Avengers, he's been with the Guardians, he's been with so many team-ups in the MCU. Why do we need another Spider-Man team-up when we could get like a matchup of the century?
Oh, that's well put.
Fucking blasphemy didn't help you any. But anyway, what do you think, Dan?
I think based on the debate, points go to Hanif. I agree with Dave. I would rather see Dave's movie, but I don't think he argued the points that would have caught it for me.
No, I realized that I don't like Tom Holland, and it kind of tripped me out.
Dave and I have had this discussion over on X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show, where I would suggest that Tom Holland. Dave Cutler is more of a Tobey Maguire man.
Toby, Andrew, a block of wood. I take any of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I felt David started strong with that argument, but Hanif just
I got in my own head
stronger.
with Tom Holland. It's all I could think about.
Do we have a tiebreaker if we go
We do
double
have a
points on
tiebreaker.
Hanif?
How do we have a tiebreaker when I'm literally losing?
We told you
No, you
we'd
got double
give you
points.
double points.
If you
It's
got
just
this one,
early. We've
It just
never
hasn't
done
been
that
reflected.
before. But yeah.
All right. Big points.
All for the sake of getting great debates out of you guys. We're gonna go one more.
Yeah, we're just gonna
All
milk
right.
you. All right. Big final speed round tiebreaker. Doesn't happen often in the show, but when it does, they're always good. So here we go.
Namor or Doctor Doom? Who is the better Doom was never a love interest for Sue. Did you think about this one, Dan? Or, I mean, Murphy?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Sue was a love interest for Doom. Doom wasn't a love interest for Sue, so that's kind of a one-way relationship. But not very reciprocal.
I'm going with Namor.
I don't know. I think we can do this better. I don't like this question.
Oh,
Take it down. Take it down. Take it down. It's
Thank
obviously
you.
Namor. Like, there's no.
Yeah, I would have had trouble there.
Yeah. So here's the actual one. So we've had a lot of not great Fantastic Four movies. So shout out first. Which was the best Fantastic Four casting?
Like between the three?
Of all the Fantastic Four movies we've seen so far, which was the best casting?
it has to be 2005.
Well, I mean, of any individual character.
Oh, best casting?
What's the best casting choice they've
Oh,
made?
there's one answer, in my opinion.
Michael Chiklis.
Okay. Why is it Michael Chiklis?
Michael Chiklis embodied the spirit of Ben Grimm. He just had that gruff swagger about him. And, you know, when he turned into the thing, it's almost like he upped the ante and he just became Benjamin J. Grimm. And the way he gruffed his voice up, I still to this day hear his voice when I'm thinking about live action things. I don't like, it's almost like how Cal Dodd, we think of Wolverine. I think of Michael Chiklis when it comes to the thing.
Who do you think was the best casting? Fantasy Four.
Okay, you can just start. Now, I'm a Jim Henson guy. I'm a practical effects guy. I'm a puppet guy. So my choice is the costume from the Roger Corman film. That thing is a work of art. It is just beautiful. I love watching its mouth move. It almost doesn't matter who's inside the thing because it's just the thing. You look at it and you can't believe they did that on that budget. It's everything. It's like all we had for so long, and I'll never not love it.
15-second rebuttal.
I don't even know how to rebut that. It's just, I mean, he gave me a key. I said an actor. He said a costume. I mean, I don't know.
Nobody knows the name of
casting.
whoever was in that costume.
Yeah, if you had the name.
15-second rebuttal, David.
Yeah, go ahead.
No one knows the name of who was in Raphael's costume in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. It was just that good a costume. It was gorgeous. The Thing is just, he is the Thing. Michael Chiklis has got no brow up here. He's just a tube head. He looks like me. I'm not the Thing.
Where are the ears? Johnny says.
My God, point Dave Cutler. He came at it for that one.
Oh, wow.
What a debate, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Fucking rule!
But honestly, I agree with you, Dave. Like, that costume looks great.
Oh, yeah. And the Doom costume, too, is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was
You're
just,
like, why did they not give Michael Chiklis a brow? Like, that was a big skewer because I was kind of like, this could go either way, but it's like, you're
Yeah,
right. Why
but
didn't
that
they give
wasn't
him a
like
brow?
Michael
They could have
Chiklis.
easily given him a brow.
I'm with Hanif on that. Even
You
though
know
I
what?
don't
You
really-
are the
Look
Thing,
like a
Dave.
stone
Don't sell yourself short. You can be the Thing.
Anybody can with those animatronics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
nobody
right.
can beat the Michael
That was a
Chiklis.
great debate, fellas. Good
That
job,
was
everybody.
fun.
And with that, David Cutler is our big winner for today's episode of Trivial Debates.
Where's that slow clap? I mean, it's actually a gavel, but hit it anyway because it sounds like a slow clap.
I don't. All right.
But I would have lost had the final question been the Namor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I-
definitely. That was not going to work.
Phrased, who loves
I
Herm?
stand by my question. I stand by my
No.
question.
No.
Well, I was going to be like, an
that's
unrequited
comic
love is
too.
a beautiful thing, something, but I don't think I could have won it.
And I would have said you don't fall in love with your man's ops. Like guy code 101.
All right. Well,
What
with
do I
that,
want Timo Reed?
let's end the show. For all that is said and done, to our winner, David Cutler, where can the people find you and your endeavors?
I'm on Instagram and
That you can talk about.
anywhere at David J. Cutler or David J. Cutler Art, one or the other. Google it and you'll find me, except for a couple that I'm not on, but most of the socials.
Beautiful.
And that's
all
it.
Right. Thank you for taking the time to party with us and talk Fantastic Four.
And I should like promote the the comic. All comics aren't dumb. It's dumb
What?
because I'm involved in it.
No.
Captain Canuck versus Uncle Sam
That's so dumb.
is available for purchase now, and I drew it, and
Is
Ty
it?
Tippleton wrote it, and it's a fun time. But it's a Captain Canuck Summer Special number 1 or possibly 2025. I forget what it's called.
I asked my comic store for it, and they said it was past pre-order date, and now they just have to hope they can get it for me on release day. Very upsetting.
You can buy it direct through the website, but it's I'm not sure what the process or the wait time is.
Man, I can wait.
I wanted to thank you again, David. It was an excellent gameplay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're
was a
going to
lot of
move
fun.
on to Hanif. Where can the people
Subbing in.
find you and your endeavors?
You can just find me on whoever's got me on social media. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, the Chief 85, DACHIEF 85, and that's about it.
All right, beautiful.
Follow Hanif on Instagram. And go down to Discovery Cove and meet him.
Yeah, I'll take your pictures.
Thank you again for taking the time to play this game with us. X-Men Dan, where can the people find you and your endeavors?
I have a very well. Thanks for that. I have a very low internet presence and extremely minimal social media as well. So, if ideally they could not find me, however, I'll turn it back
Van Dan's
to-
address. Just email me personally.
Yeah, I just want people to stay safe at work. That's me. Thank you,
Safety
Dave.
Dan.
And thank you, Neef. You guys were excellent combatants.
It was great meeting you guys.
Nice to see you guys again.
He's a safety
Wow.
guy. We used to have this gag where we were just gonna plan to roll up on any random construction yard and just like Dan was gonna like jump out of the truck and just be pissed and be like, "We're shutting it down. This is unsafe." And like our theory was no one would question him because he's just acting like in a position of authority. Like that was the thing. Would anyone ever question him, and would we get away with it?
On
never
further
pulled it off.
reflection, that itself may have been an unsafe thing to do.
You know what? But maybe you would have made it safer because they would have been like, you know what, this safety guy is questioning our, our operations here.
Mr. Malloyd, where can the folks find you and your endeavors for being an excellent host?
They find me here almost like a plague on this network. I'm here. I host this every now and then. I'm every Tuesday. Tomorrow, for example, over on X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. See, it's me. It's not Mr. Malloyd, right?
The whole time.
It was me
Oh,
the whole
man, I
time.
was fooled the whole time. Damn.
I know. I didn't really want to fool you guys.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Worldmind, for all that you do.
And
Oh,
yeah, you can
appreciate you,
expect me and Worldmind over there on Hold Up every now and then when we get around to it. And
we talk films. We're going to be talking Quebec films in August.
Quebecois.
With special effects makeup artist Marc DeVoe. So if you
French,
wanna...
but not from Quebec.
Nope, but he's French enough for us, so that's all. That's what matters.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have another episode of Trivial Debates coming up. But before I get into that, check us out on Live Long and Podcast. This Thursday we're doing Strange New Worlds review. It
was supposed to be me hosting that, but turns out I have concert tickets for that night, so we're still looking for a host. It'll be Jamil or Jody probably.
If not them, it'll probably be me.
If it's not one of them, it's definitely you.
Yeah. So you check us out there. And with that, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to hang out with me and play this game, this silly internet game. I hope everybody's enjoying it. If you enjoyed this game, if you enjoyed the questions and the answers, share us your answers. Let us know what you think of the questions, and what you think of if any of our hosts got any of these questions or topics or whatever. If he made the right choices.
Debate with
our
us.
host made the right choices.
Exactly.
Let us
Debate
know.
with me. I'll tell you you're wrong.
He's our favorite middle guy. So with that, we're gonna
middle guy thing. Right, I forgot about
we're gonna be back. Toot sweet. Our next episode, it's gonna be about Superman, and I am pulling a supercast together for that one. So I'm hoping I can finalize that in the next week, and we can get that on the show, and we can be back at the end of the month. So you're gonna get 2 episodes of Trivial Debates. Fingers crossed. This was supposed to be last month, but things happened. We're here now. We're over.
Things
We're
happen.
done. Thank you. Until next time. Sayonara.
Beam
Make
up
sure
some
you guys
Star
vote.
Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
I know exactly what Hanif was about to say.